It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. As a great viewer stated, beautiful both within and without. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question. And that is how to overcome the damage that they have felt that was inflicted or absorbed, taken in by them as a result of being in a very harmful and hurtful relationship with a toxic individual, someone who is narcissistic, malignant narcissistic, or psychopathic, who is an individual who has a need to be powerful over others, to be controlling over others, to keep people away from their own experience in the world and get kind of independent. The people who want to keep you toxically dependent on them, constantly distracted by them, or who are really trying to plot or in a pre-calculated way sort of set you up for failure. So this can feel very damaging and cause you to feel very lost. So that's going to be the topic that we're focusing on today. But once again, before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently made a donation to the channel. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. And it's so good to hear from you. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to set forth this information and this content. I feel there's a huge need and a gap today. And so that is why I am rising up and stepping up to the plate. And I'm so glad you have found the channel and found the tools and the resources, and hopefully you're applying them each and every day in every way to make your life better, more brilliant, lighter, and more close to the experiences and your ideal and your vision. So thank you so much. And once again, yes, if the channel has been a positive influence for you, you absolutely positively can make a donation. There's a little PayPal donate now button on the About page here at YouTube, and you can make a contribution. Thank you so much. So we're zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on kind of like the damage that one might feel, where they feel sullied, tarnished, made impure, made unholy, irreputable in the eyes of God, in the eyes of their employer, in the eyes of their family. The word sully, S-U-L-L-Y, is a great word to describe this feeling of being damaged, because it can be, you can have physical damage, psychological damage, emotional, but then there's spiritual, and then there's really kind of a sullying, which affects all levels or experience of being a person, the body, mind, and spirit, and all those etheric, levels, and then the etheric energy with which your body then gives out, and then, clues others into the fact that there's something wrong with this person, or this person is hurt or damaged, or, defiled goods, as this viewer had stated it. So this is not a permanent feeling, but this is a common experience after you've been in a relationship with someone who is unloving, who does not love themselves to the point where they will actually exploit and take advantage of the needs of others, emotionally manipulate, emotionally get entangled or enmeshed with, and in the state of the psychopath, who are loveless individuals. So when you brush up, I guess that's just a term, when you encounter these individuals, you are going to feel the lack of self-love from within them. I almost equate it to like an osmosis. Osmosis meaning you're just going to pick it up. By being in that environment and around these people, eventually it's going to seep through into those layers and levels of your being, physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual, and your etheric energy, all that's around you, where you feel the damage, which is really at the very root, at the very cause, which we're looking at here, is their lack of self-love, and then the damage that is inflicted because of it. They're going to, without stopping, take the good, the heat, the warmth, the love, the affection, the attention from others. Some people call it psychic vampirism. Whatever it is, there's a taking mechanism. These people are, yes, the takers of the world, the heartless takers, the loveless takers. It's not just that they're a taker. Everybody has give and take. That's the natural, that's reciprocity. That's the law of reciprocity in life. We're talking about those people who it's very one directional, out of balance, where they are going to take energetically from you, and even at the level of the core, your being, and affect your identity. Dr. Joe Dispenza, emotions repeated over time become a temperament and then an identity. So when you've experienced this, to sully means to damage the purity or integrity of, to defile. So it is to taint, it is to soil, to tarnish, to stain, or feel like you have a blemish. It's like an identity blemish. And it comes from the root word, the French word solier, which is to sully or to soil. So, and if you look at this, when and how it is experienced, it's a feeling that you have, felt something, the dark times. It is to mar the luster of, so you no longer feel attractive. You're no longer feel you're attracting good in life. You feel that you are damaged. You're defining yourself by this way because of the mirroring back, the negative mirroring back from this individual, and perhaps the criticism that they had flailed or projected, the physical hurt, the hurtful experiences where they told you specific things that really got you at the core, and perhaps now your identity, because that feeling has been repeated over time in a pattern, it has become your identity. Like the alcoholic who, by virtue of them constantly and chronically drinking, they now have an identity as a drinker, as an alcoholic. So it's the similar thing where, it has been repeated over time, that to the point where you now feel yourself and defined as such. And it is like a stain, to be contaminated, to dirty, disgrace, or dishonor. And realize that it is the lashing out, the hurt, the predatory nature of the psychopath is to mar, maim, and defile. So in other words, what better way to get ahead than to weaken others? What better way to look good than to exploit the kindness, the quote unquote weakness within others, the needs within others, to tell you you're too needy when you're just normal, to tell you you're too sensitive when you're just picking up on the truth. You're following your intuition and they're telling you you are too sensitive, you're wrong, you're crazy, you're being paranoid. When you're actually registering with something true and they're telling you it is not true. So this is the brainwashing, the gaslighting. These are the very dissociative and dehumanizing psychological states that people will find themselves in while they're with these types of individuals. So we're not here to treat or diagnose, but there comes a time when you can really connect the dots. With those of you who have been with the channel, you're becoming, I believe, very astute students, because you're looking back, you're seeing what's what, you see what happened, you're looking back with new eyes, and you're seeing that you did nothing wrong. You were just at the hands of someone who was taking you as a target or supply and had sullied you or made you feel now lost as such. So it makes you're feeling a lack or an absence in your soul because of their absence in their soul. So in other words, it's like you're picking it up by proximity or by association. So when we talk about healing, it's to realize that that is the why that set this up. And then it is to really clear yourself of this. It's to realize that this was like a negative imprint. It was a learned feeling that was repeated over time. And that you have been rehearsed this again and again to feel bad, to feel guilty, to feel less than, to feel inadequate, and to have this reinforced by them. Once again, what better way to get oneself ahead than to darken or tarnish them? What better way to make yourself shine if you're not really shining, if you don't have that self-love, if you don't have that carried out through your day and are calling forth on that, or have that kind of driving you, that self-respect, how easy it is then to disrespect others because you don't have it within. The wounded people wound, the healed people heal. And in the state of the psychopath who have heartless, who, can say or do whatever. They don't care if it's not true. To them, they'll just tell you what you want to hear or whatever the globe wants to hear. It can go from the minuscule to the macrocosm. And as I was stating, those of you who have been with me for some time, I would, and you feel that you're really becoming a chance to connect the dots here, I would highly recommend on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, I would highly recommend signing up. They have a lot of great shows and documentaries, but I would highly recommend you watch, even if you're not interested in this gentleman, I would highly recommend you watch the series called Trump, An American Dream. Trump, i.e. our current president, although I wouldn't define him as such, he holds that title. We're not going to make this political, but it is called Trump, An American Dream. And if you watch this, you will unequivocally be able to see some very interesting comments made by the journalists and those people who were close to him. And I would also probably highly recommend is it her name, Ivanka Trump, his wife? Ivanka Trump's probably her biography, if you want to get really into it. Let's just see real quick. Because she was close to this man. No, Ivana Trump, his wife, not his daughter. So his wife had recently, I learned, had written a book. I think it's called Raising Trump. So she's going to give you an up-close example of what it is like to live with such an individual. And when you watch that, you'll be able to see in living color how these individuals think and what they do not think, what they feel and what they do not feel, what they do and what they do not do. In other words, the depth of pathological lying with which they live their life. And it's very important to understand, because just as people can become transfixed and glued to that type of series, it is to become aware that you then curtail what I call the gaper's block to such horrors. In other words, you might be so that I think that's why people stay with a harmful individual for so long, like a psychopath or like a malignant narcissist, because there's like an emotional gaper's block. They're just in shock and awe as to what they can do and say and twist and turn and contort and the meaning of things, and say and do things that are beyond the capability of most people. Most people are very uncomfortable, saying a bald-faced lie. So bald-faced, i.e. taking the mask off, I think that's a good connection there, where they're just, telling a lie. In other words, they're going to snap back like a rubber band and tell the truth. I mean, they're not going to stretch very far. So the psychopath, they have endless stretch to the rubber band with which they can lie. And so if you have felt damaged by such individual, realize it is their damage. They are damaging individuals. It has nothing to do with you. You are not, toxically sullied, soiled. You are not damaged as such. You have experienced this, but realize the health and the vibrancy and the wholeness that is within you. And that this has been a life experience, and there's blessings or lessons in life. Perhaps this person was a blessing and a lesson, because they can actually help you now turn the attention on you. All spotlight is on you. So actually this relationship is a true gift. And it's very difficult, I think, for a lot of people to say this. Peace and harmony, are you kidding? I'm in such a mess. Well, the lesson from this individual has been a huge beacon, a huge lighthouse that has said, look out for yourself, protect yourself, look and learn that there are these dangerous types of people out here, and be careful. So it has caused you to look within and to develop your intuition and your sense of gut, and to pay more attention to it. Intuition comes from the Latin in, which is upon, and tuere, to look. So in other words, to look upon and to look within. And it's the ability to have knowledge without proof, evidence, or conscious reasoning, or without understanding how the knowledge was acquired. So it's kind of something then that is within you. So it's developing your ability to look within and, like Plato says, know thyself. in all the temples of the ancients, I mean, that was written. So in other words, it's turned the direction and the energy around to learn and live more for yourself, and to know thyself and know your gifts and know your purpose and your mission and your truth, and then to share it with others. It doesn't mean to be narcissistic. A lot of viewers are, I'm afraid that that's what that energy shift is. No, it is not. To be narcissistic is to live life as a state of superiority and without empathy and have a sense of entitlement. There's a lack of humility and humbleness, and I find that most people come through these relationships very humble, very empathetic, very compassionate, and are learning, forgiveness and self-forgiveness and mercy and gratitude. And it's like you might be down in the dumps, down in the valley, down in the chasm, way off Route 66, feeling lost without a map, but your internal GPS is what needs to be fixed, repaired, turned on, reprogrammed, reconditioned to the positive early direction thinking, feeling, and behaving. So cast off that darkness, cast off that damage. That is not you. Your identity is as you define it. Do not be defined by this other person. This other person does not define you. You define you. Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your choices, decisions, behaviors, and how you feel, and then the good acts that you do in service to yourself and to others. So plan on expanding your self-love. Plan on expanding your purity. Plan on expanding your integrity. Where can you shine? Where do you feel you shine? Where do you have those heartwarming moments where it makes you tingle and you go, oh my God, that is so gorgeous. Oh my God, that is so exciting. Oh my God, I love to look upon that. I love to feel that. What is it for you? Give yourself a chance to define you and stop stopping yourself. Like Vincent Jenna says, stop holding yourself back from that which is your glory. Maybe your glory is just to be at a state of peace where you've never felt this before. You've never felt safe before. You've never, you've been deprived of the quiet because you're constantly around the yelling, the bickering, the fighting. Sometimes just the absence and coming to the neutral state is where you need to be. That can be a step enough. It is a process. Look how many videos we have here. Look how much content. Look how many steps. Look at the process. This is not, an okay, I got it and a fix-all. It is a process, just like healing. The physical body is a process. These psychological wounds do require a healing process. It's a healing of emotion, of thought, of consciousness, awareness, and then fusing it with your behaviors, fusing it with your structure, your articulation of your affirmations, saying your affirmations while moving. Every day in every way, I'm feeling better and better. And I think there are some really neat disciplines where there is yogic movement with affirmations. And I think that sounds like a wonderful practice. So if you can incorporate the affirmations with your yogic, stretching, or, whatever it is that you're doing now, we have, viewers who are hurt physically. You can still do these in your chair, in a wheelchair, in a couch, where you're stretching yourself. You can, put your hands this way, your arms this way. Whatever movement you can do a little bit of movement. That'll help you generate that feeling of being damaged. The light will win out and will cast out the darkness. Getting things while you're doing this that are other tools to enhance your experience. Candles and scented candles. They have a very soft glow. And if you can pick up that energy, you'll see that it casts away that feeling of being blemished, sullied, tarnished, damaged. You can go and pick these up inexpensively. You can get the essential oils, which are healing. You can look at my videos on resensitizing yourself, how to work with all your senses to bring yourself to health, the best health that you can be in. I definitely think that there is a lot to explore here with that, but that feeling of being tainted, don't take that on, don't hang that on your door, push it out. you know, that you are not that damage that has been inflicted. It is the negative projection that you are feeling, the darkness within another's being that you have experienced, and it's not your energy. So, you know, give it back to the energy from which it came, the cause from which it came, and don't claim ownership to that damage. Don't let that, you know, don't be defined by that. Give it back to the cause from which it came. Give it back to, let it be recycled by Mother Earth. Let it be recycled by, you know, the infinite spirit, the infinite wisdom, infinite intelligence. Let them recycle it. They are bigger, better, stronger than you. And little old you, yes, can become big, strong you when you do this. So make that transition. And we're going to have more videos on this topic because I think it's a very salient and important concept to healing through and really, really doing yourself solid. You can do this, doing yourself solid and really seeing the truth, the reality, and living that life and living it now. You know, not putting it off, not perseverating, not procrastinating, saying not until this will I feel this. You know, make this energetic change now. Do yourself solid, make the adjustment, see it for what it is, and look at the experiences with those new eyes of purity, and you'll see the good that you are. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.